we have with the agenda, we're going to do welcome and introductions. And I'd like each of you to go around and introduce yourself. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go with the people who are virtual first, rather than disregarding them and not paying attention. And I'm going to start, I'm going to, as acting chair's prerogative, I'm going to start with Freddie Lutz because I think we just should. So, Freddie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Freddie. I have Freddie's Beach Bar and Restaurant on 23rd Street in Crystal City. And we also have Federico Ristorante Italiano, which is also on 23rd Street. Happy to be here.
And I'm glad that Freddie will be sponsoring, be a sponsored place for one of our next meetings. Thank you very much. Let's keep going.
Caitlin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I can go ahead and introduce myself. So, hi everybody, my name is Caitlin. I live in Arlington, and sorry I couldn't be there in person because I do have the events on Mondays that I have tonight at 7. So, unfortunately, gonna make it out in person, but I hope to be in person at the next meeting. Yeah, let's see. I do a lot in the community. I'm involved with like Planned Parenthood, Arlington Young Dems, and yeah. So just happy to be here and actually work towards in making Arlington County greater for everybody.
Thank you, Caitlin. Lamont, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Lamont. I'm actually here in the building. I just don't know where the room is.
We're on the 3rd floor.
Third floor, okay. Well, I'll quickly introduce myself here virtually before I meet you guys upstairs. Hello, everyone. My name is Lamont Venture-Hort. I am a personal trainer, stretch specialist, and wellness coach. I am the founder of Live Wellness Group, and we provide fitness events such as Zumba classes, fitness classes, stretch therapy to businesses here in Arlington and in DC. I'm very excited to be here at this meeting just to kind of see what we are going to do with the influx of activity that is going to come next year with World Pride. And I'm excited to kind of hear the different ideas that everyone has and how we can work together.
Okay, and then I think that is everyone on the official membership list. So staff, could you introduce yourself, Emma?
Yeah, so I'm Emma Martin. I am one of our ERG Outstandings 3 co-chairs or tri-chairs, I guess. I think that Lizzie and Denise are also on the call, but I just wanted to be here today to represent Outstanding, and we're happy to be included, so thank you. And then Lizzie and Denise might want to go next, if that's all right.
Denise, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello. Sorry, I'm driving back. I teach at George Washington in the afternoons, so I'm heading back that way. But hi, my name is Denise. I'm the guardianship navigator for Arlington County and one of the tri-chairs for Outstanding, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Destiny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm also driving, so excuse me. I will be brief. Destiny Esper, pronoun she, her, hers. I am in Arlington Economic Development. I'm the Strategic Communications Manager, and I'm super excited to be here because we're also talking about and planning World Pride stuff too. So just really excited to be here and be a part of this. Hi, everybody.
And then we have 2 other members, community members, I think, who are here. Charles and Katie.
Hello, Charles McCullough, community member.
Thank you. And Katie?
What was Katie?
You're muted.
You're on mute, Katie. Katie Pecoraro, you're supposed to.
Sorry, I'm casting to my TV. Katie Pagavaro. I am a staff member and also a community member, just here to observe. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, I think that covers the people who are online. If we just want to go around the table, I guess probably makes the most sense. I'll start. So I'm Elizabeth Matlock. I'm assistant to the deputy county managers, and I will be the staff liaison for this group.
Sure. Hi, I'm Laura Tinter. I'm involved with Equality Arlington, Flag.
Everybody, I'm Lizzie Alarcon. I work with Human Services as a communication and engagement specialist.
I'm Candace Lopez. I'm an assistant director of Department of Human Services and with Project Peace. Hi, Sam Jane, pronouns they, them, theirs. Former board member of Equality Arlington for like a little bit. Otherwise, just involved in the community.
Hi, I'm James Fisher. I've been an LGBTQ activist in Arlington for the past 35 years. I was the president of what was the Arlington Gay and Lesbian Alliance, and was on the Human Rights Commission and the chairman for a number of years. And my current project, some of you may have heard about, is to raise Clarendon Presbyterian Church and build LGBTQ welcoming, affordable senior housing.
My name is Lamont. I introduced myself.
I'm glad you made it.
Find the room. I was in the building at first, but yes. My name is Lamont. I've been an Arlington resident for 5 years. Actually, I just started business here in the fitness and wellness space. I've evolved from a personal trainer to now a wellness coach. And I'm very excited to be here just to kind of hear what the discussion is going to be centered around, like I said, about World Pride, but also just more so as we talk about capacity and growth and where we go as a county. I'm very excited about housing and housing policies. I read that right before bed sometimes. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Diane Kresh, I'm the director of Arlington Public Library and longtime resident of Arlington. I grew up here and then went away and came back, and I currently live in Arlington. Nice to be here. Thank you.
My name is Tom Villa. I was a resident of Arlington many years ago, defected to Montgomery County, Maryland for a period of time. I'm now back here again. I've worked here in the meantime anyway, but I'm now back living here as well in Clarendon. I'm a co-director of Impacto LGBT, which is a nonprofit, community nonprofit that serves the LGBT Latino community of Northern Virginia and the DMV. And I'm on the lay leadership team for Clarendon Presbyterian Church.
I'm Matt Ryle. I'm a detective with the police department here. I've been here for 21 years. And currently I work in HR. So I do background investigations on all of the new hires that we have for the department. And then one of my ancillary duties is I'm the team leader for the LGBT liaison team we have for the department.
You could have also introduced us.
Best behavior.
I've met many of you already.
Best behavior for everybody, right?
Right.
All right. Hey, folks. So I am one of the Sams. My last name is Barnes. Let's pretend I'm back in softball. Just call me Barnes. Easy on. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I am the youth co-facilitator for PFLAG, which is an organization that supports, educates, and advocates for LGBTQ individuals and their families. I also work with Affordable Homes and Communities down on Columbia Pike. And I'm the youth co-facilitator for Dignity USA, which is a faith-based organization that advocates for LGBTQ plus inclusion in Catholic spaces. So we're also doing a lot of stuff for World Pride and prepping for that, but happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Liz Arian. My pronouns are she, and I'm here representing AGIA, which it means Arlington Gender Identity Allies. We're a group that's been around since 2018 of parents, students, community members, staff members who are advocate for trans, non-binary, and gender-inclusive students in APS. So I'm particularly interested in supporting LGBTQ plus youth. I also co-facilitate a support group for parents of trans youth called He, She, She, and We. And I also direct a summer camp that has been right here in Arlington last 5 years called Camp Free to Be for trans and non-binary youth. Free to be here.
I'm Kimberly Baldini. I'm the Youth Services Section Leader with Parks and Recreation. I've been with Parks and Recreation for 20 years. And I am so excited with all the connections I'm making with all of you. Like, I'm taking names and connections because you'll see, we'll talk later about all the connections that we're trying to make and like threading them through DPR. So I'm really glad to be here.
Great. I'm Jennifer Weber. I'm the Walter Reed 55 Plus Center Director with the Department of Parks and Recreation. Again, so happy to be here.
And I'm Samantha Perez. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the Vice President and one of the co-founders of Equality Arlington. And if you're plugged into the political spaces, you've seen me around Arlington Dem stuff, or maybe you see me gathering trans folks at pizza places to play board games. So. Over to you.
My name is Colin Macbeth. Pronouns are he, him. I'm president and founder of Equality Arlington.
Sarah McMillan, pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm here in lieu of my Arlington folks who couldn't make tonight. I'm one of the co-chairs for the Metro DC DSA Trans Queer Liberation Campaign.
Ethan Goodman, new resident, moved here from Ohio. I was really involved in LGBT work there, so trying to meet new people and build community, see what's going on.
On my lap. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Saucedo Broach. I'm just a resident. I'm a fourth generation Arlingtonian, though I've been involved in local, state, national politics for a long time. So that work. And, particularly just interested in how a body like this will connect with immigrant families, low-income folks, particularly folks who are not English speaking. So I'm really excited.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Now, next on our agenda is an overview of the charter and purpose. So everyone should have a copy. I will share a copy on this screen as well. But if you look at the charter, I've shared it with you earlier, so hopefully this is not the first time you're looking at it. If you look at the purpose and the mission, the county manager establishes LGBTQIA+ advisory committee to seek advice on issues impacting LGBTQIA+ residents and to provide a voice for LGBTQIA+ residents across Arlington County government. The functions and scope, this is the bulk of the work that we'll be doing, to keep county and community leadership apprised of issues and actions regarding the needs of LGBTQIA+ residents, to make recommendations to ensure that LGBTQIA+ residents can thrive in the county, and to work to increase understanding and support for the LGBTQIA+ community. More specifically, the committee will promote visibility and encourage support and acceptance, work with businesses, community organizations, and Arlington County government to develop, promote, and collaborate on methods to ensure inclusion, work with law enforcement and the Office of Human Rights to monitor crimes and discrimination targeting LGBTQIA+ residents and workers, to promote the development of knowledge, understanding, and practices related to helping LGBTQIA+ residents, make recommendations on LGBTQIA+ affirming legislation, policies, and programs, collaborate with other organizations, agencies, and advisory bodies to promote understanding and support collaborate with the county and other organizations to celebrate Pride Month, provide outreach and an outlet for Arlington's LGBTQIA+ residents and workers to express their concerns regarding matters impacting their community. Consider the future role of the committee as an advisor to the county manager and how best to provide advice on LGBTQIA+ related issues, and review and monitor prior recommendations put forth by the committee and determine which of those recommendations as yet are unfulfilled and to be pursued, and to what priority. So that is the bulk of what we're doing. Basically, we talked about, and what I shared in my email, it's a place to come together, to hear what the county is doing, to learn what you guys are seeing in the community that should be done, and to kind of work together to try to create a more inclusive space, a more welcoming place, and give everyone a voice and a chance to work together. That's the bulk of what we're doing. And then the rest of the charter deals more with the logistics of a board or a committee, that we'll be limited to 15 official members, but we will always welcome other community members who wish to attend, who live or work in Arlington. So we'll have the roster. Everyone is appointed for 2-year terms, and then they can have up to 5 2-year terms, so 10 years total. I note that we want you to participate if you're appointed as a member. So if your attendance falls below 50% in one calendar year, you run the risk of not being a member anymore, an official member. We plan on meeting quarterly. There may be more meetings as needed based on what events we're planning. We are going to elect a chair and a vice chair, and that should happen this evening, next, after we approve the charter. There may be subcommittees, especially as we work on specific issues or plan events. There's a staff liaison, that is me. And we will report to our county manager here, create an annual report to him as we do work and perform activities, and then about voting and updating the charter. So. Now we take a vote to approve the charter. Is there anyone who would like to move to approve the charter? Any member who would like to move?
I'll move.
I'll move. I'll second.
Okay, thank you. And is there anyone who objects to approving the charter as is? Okay, then everyone approves, and we will go forward.
Perfect. Perfect timing.
Okay. That was
Excellent coordination.
good timing.
Yes, very well.
Okay. Next, we will be electing a chair and a vice chair to lead this committee. Is there anyone who either wants to nominate a member or speak in favor of a member or speak that they particularly want to fulfill one of these roles?
If I could, I would like to offer myself for chair. As co-founder of Equality Arlington, this was developing a path like this for the LGBT community with the county has been a project we've been passionate about for a long time. It's a topic I'm passionate about. I've been in a lot of the early conversations on kind of setting this thing up, and I think this works well with the advocacy work that we've been doing thus far, and I would be honored to lead it.
do we want to, is there anyone else who would like to speak up as far as chair is concerned, or do we want to go ahead and nominate?
Well, I second you because I would have nominated you but didn't want to. Spoken to you first.
Sitting at the head of the.
You get my vote?
Well, would we all like to choose Sam as our, do we need to go around the room and everyone give a vote?
We can just applaud.
I think ayes and nays is fine.
Okay, for electing Sam as our chair, say aye if you approve. Aye. Nay if you do not approve. Okay, the ayes have it.
Thank you for offering.
Yeah, thank you. And now, would anyone like to speak for themselves as vice chair or nominate someone else as vice chair?
In the Sam's.
What role does the vice chair play exactly? I'm not really familiar.
I think it'll be you and the chair will spend time collaborating with me on as far as like just the logistics of what we'll talk about in the meeting. And then I think since it's a newer committee, it will kind of be up to you all to determine exactly where you want the direction of your roles to be and where you see this group taking action. And so it will be yours to make of it as yeah. Again, the meetings are quarterly. I don't know if that influences anyone's desire to be vice chair.
I mean, I will volunteer, but as I said, I'm a newbie at this kind of committee. So if there's somebody else with more experience, please step up.
Would anyone like to second Liz?
How about you?
I mean, I'll second your.
Okay. If you approve of Liz being our vice chair. Aye. Any nays? Okay, I think that ayes have it.
We're learning a lot from you. Working with you.
And now we have a moment for public comment. We had 2 people sign up for public comment. So Kellen, I will start off with you.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Colin Beth. I'm the president and founder of Quality Arlington. Just on behalf of the Quality Arlington, wanted to again express our gratitude to Mark and the county for forming this advisory committee. We're very excited for the work that the committee is going to hopefully be doing over hopefully many years in our community to both bring together a lot of the different organizations and community members who identify as part of the LGBT+ community or are serving those who are. People brought up World Pride. That's something that I think we definitely see this committee is having a key role in helping to coordinate with the different organizations who would be involved and help ensure that we have a county-wide plan for how to make sure we're celebrating all the different LGBTQ+ folks who live in Arlington in a public and affirming way. We're also very much looking forward to the committee helping staff and the manager work to implement the recommendations that the Equality Arlington sent to the county back in March. We outlined a number of areas where we think the county can do more and can improve on how they serve and interact with the LGBT+ community. So we're hoping that the advisory committee can be a force multiplier to help push the county and provide advice and guidance on how best to do that. And we're also looking forward to this being a nexus for LGBTQ+ knowledge and information for all people in the community. So starting with like the webpage and these meetings, that if any queer person in the community, their parents or family members, whomever, has questions, if they're trying to find out information about what the county provides service-wise or what a policy is, they can come here as a place to get that information and make it easily accessible. And they can also come before this committee and talk about any concerns or issues that they're having, and help get that addressed quickly by staff. So we're super excited for that. And thank you all for volunteering to serve, and for our new chair and vice chair for stepping up to lead, as well as all the staff who are going to be supporting this along the way. So thank you very much.
And then Charles, I think you're online. You have signed up to speak as well.
Yes, thank you. So hello again. My name is Charles McCullough, longtime community advocate and South Arlington resident, just a few doors down from Freddie, actually. I just wanted to say that I'm excited to see that the county has convened an LGBTQIA+ advisory committee, and that such a really an august group of individuals has been selected to be part of it. For Arlington, I believe that this moment marks the beginning of a journey, one where our collective voices and efforts are set to create an even more inclusive and supportive community for all. The LGBTQIA+ community of Arlington may not be in the throes of some major crisis, but it is precisely in these quieter times that the work of this committee gains profound significance. Often the absence of a major visible issue makes the subtle yet critical challenges our community faces all too easy to overlook. But it is in these moments that suffering and silence takes hold that opportunities are lost. So, as members of this advisory committee, you become the eyes and ears of our community. Your vigilance ensures that issues of importance to us are not only heard, but addressed with the urgency they deserve. Each one of you holds the power in your voice of ensuring that our concerns are brought to light and acted upon proactively. In short, the work you all are doing is the expression of our community's dreams and aspirations. Having served on a few county commissions or two myself, I know that the work ahead will have its frustrations. It will. But please also know with me that your contributions are invaluable and that all of Arlington and the LGBTQIA+ community in particular eagerly await all the great things we all will achieve together with this advisory committee. So thank you all again for your service.
Thank you, Charles. And with that, I believe those are the two who signed up for public comment. So moving on to a discussion of what do you think is most important for us to focus on?
Are we looking for like just specific ideas or more general?
I think I saw this as kind of like basically, why are you glad this is here, and what are we hoping to accomplish? If you have real specific ideas, cool. If you just have a mission statement bubbling in your head, I think that's all. We're figuring out what this is as we go. So it's your time to push it in direction.
I think in particular, I'm looking forward to chatting with maybe Parks and Recreation, and also getting in contact with folks on the Arlington Public Schools. For a lot of the work that I do is with the youth, like ages 12 to 18. And I am very impressed with the work that has been done so far in Arlington County. The movement recently, even to allow students to not have to change into specific uniforms for PE, they still have to wear athletic clothing. that is something that never would have happened where I'm from. So it's really exciting to be here and be a part of this community that is already aware of these issues. So I'm just looking to stay plugged in with the youth and let you all know what is going on in their brains and how we can implement that, whether it's community activities or it's through the schools. One thing in particular that has come up a lot lately is health resources. A lot of these kids and their parents do not know what sort of medical help they can get, whether that be hormones, whether that be mental health services, whether that be family counseling. A lot of the stuff I've seen is out in Fairfax. So I'm curious what we can do and what resources there are in Arlington for those members. Thank you.
I second all of that. As a parent of a trans youth, we traveled to almost to Baltimore to get her care. Yeah, really isn't a lot around here.
I would say visibility. We'll have people visiting from all over the world, and to make them feel welcome as LGBTQ folks. When I went to World Pride in New York, you step off the subway, everything was rainbows, Macy's, rainbow windows, the Empire State Building was lit up in rainbow colors and changed to transgender colors everywhere you looked. And I think it would be nice if Arlington County had that sort of visibility as well.
I'm interested in whether we can work to declare Arlington a sanctuary county for families fleeing half the states of our country where trans people are basically being legislated out of existence. I know Alexandria is doing that, I believe. So I just think that would do a lot to make our youth feel safer and to welcome families who need a safe place to go.
I was thinking about this as I was driving over, and it occurred to me that I would like to see this group look at issues related to LGBTQ plus community kind of over the course of life. I mean, there are issues with young people. There are issues with people, starting out in their careers, housing related issues, affordability, that sort of thing. There are issues with people sort of in midlife who are dealing with children who need support, and broader things, families who need support. And as I've gotten involved in this church project, I'm just learning more and more about the depth of issues related to older people. And I feel like there are so many things that we can look at and do, but if there's sort of a continuum line through those where we look at, okay, how is this affecting people at different points in the scope of life? I think that's helpful.
For me, as I thought about this, as we were talking about it and getting it off the ground, to me, I think the most exciting and what feels the most important part for me is just the function of getting people together for public comment and then conversation. Because the need that started this conversation for us was we see issues with the LGBT community in Arlington, and we don't know how, we don't know who will listen or how to make a person listen. It's like that was that. So getting that off the ground was what animated me to start getting involved in activism and a lot of this stuff. And so I think just creating this space where people can come, and if they have a problem, a lot of times there's someone who didn't know there was a problem, and this person is able to fix it. Or there is a solution to it, and they just hadn't gotten connected with the people that can help. I think just having a space for concerns to be voiced and for people who can help with concerns to hear it, and coordinating that, I think is just in general what excites me about the existence of this, and that's what I hope we learn to do well. I like that we have a space where the public can come and be annoying until their problem is fixed. That's very important for any government. So I like it.
I agree with what you said about
creating a space, right? So what does creating a space means in a place like Arlington that is developing at a fast rate? I'm over in Pentagon City, Crystal City, right by HQ2. It's a lot of change there, right? So there's nothing there before, so it's not considered gentrification, but it is a change when you have a major company coming in and bringing in people at a certain income level. It changes the demographics. We're very close to the Pentagon, so we still have this idea of military idea. So like, how do we kind of move past these perceptions that people have of Virginia and be more inclusive of the different voices and personalities that people have? When we talk about creating a space, how can we actually have a space where people have community, right? The fact that Freddy's has been able to be there is great and for the community, but how do we go the next 20 years, next 30 years? How does that look like in terms of creating revenue for people?
If I could put two issues on the table, specifically for the Spanish-speaking LGBT Latino community that we serve through my organization. I think one of the big challenges is even knowing what exists. There are lots of resources in our region. I think that one of the big challenges, obviously finding it, and there are language barriers for some. But another challenge is that many services are siloed. So eligibility and delivery and everything else is all by jurisdiction. It's Arlington County, you have to live here to access this, or you have to live in Alexandria or DC. But we all know that people here may live and work in different jurisdictions, and people move around a lot. So that gets very complicated for folks. I don't know that we could solve all of that here, but I think it's an issue that would be helpful if we could try to wrap our heads around it and think how we might collaborate with others to begin thinking about how to address that. And in terms of a specific issue, we mentioned mental health counseling services. But during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was absolutely impossible to find mental health services for Spanish speakers, particularly those who lacked health insurance and the ability to pay just, sliding scale or market rates, whatever. There are lots of hotlines you can call, but they provide just short-term crisis intervention, and then they all look to hand you off to somebody local. But what if there's nobody local to hand the person off to? So we spoke to everybody. We called SAMHSA, we called the Virginia Department of Health. I mean, we were in touch with everybody at the local, state, national levels, and there really weren't good solutions. So I think longer term, that's something that we may benefit, or may be able to help our community by thinking about. How do we make sure that there are connections for somebody to then be handed off to for longer term support?
Well, if I may, as a member of the public, I would like to second that. I think that's an excellent point to bring up to you all who are going to be doing this work. And the only thing that I would add to that is as I've been reading kind of the Equality Arlington stuff and what they've been calling on the county to do, and as the county works to develop those sorts of resources and opportunities for queer people who are residents of Arlington, I also think it's incumbent on the county to make sure that what they're doing is accessible to folks of different, who speak different languages, and to make sure that those resources are being offered to them through the schools and the children, but also very much being offered to older folks. Because if those of us who are in this room are probably among the most privileged LGBT people who are living in Arlington County. If you are an undocumented Salvadoran person or a Mongolian person, and you are 75 and you want to learn about trans issues, but you don't speak English, where do you go? How do you do that? Right? I mean, that's exactly the kind of level of access and need that I think this body and the folks in this body should be thinking about first in a very critical way. Because as everybody here knows, those kinds of issues are so directly tied to mental health. And if your mental health is not right, how is anything else in your life going to be right? So thank you all for doing this work. Thank you for bringing that up.
To piggyback off that, speaking from law enforcement experience, we're always the first ones to get to somebody in their worst case. And having even just a card or a pamphlet to be able to give out to that community when we go to help, because we get bombarded with those questions on a constant basis that we can't answer because we don't know where those resources are that are available. So if we can get those resources into one particular spot so that as law enforcement, when we have that first contact, we can give that information to them to help assist them along their path. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be part of this committee, because after 20 years of doing this, it's very frustrating to come across issues like that and not be able to do anything about it.
Good point.
Well, this is something I've been dreaming about for years. When we talk about creating a space, and I see it's on the Equality Arlington pamphlet too, creating a physical space, a pride center, an LGBTQ center. So even youth, for example, who have non-affirming parents could find their way there and get support. As it is now, you pretty much have to have a supportive parent to get you to things that are available in the area. I drive my daughter over into DC for to socialize with other trans kids at Smile. If we had something right here in Arlington that teens could go for programming, adult community members who are trying to find resources could go get support, get maybe legal help, medical help, whatever. I think it would be amazing. A pride center. I know Richmond has something like that. I don't know who runs it. It's called Diversity Richmond. It's great to have that.
Baltimore has one as well.
Yeah.
DC has one.
Here in Rehoboth, we have Camp Rehoboth. It's a center for the LGBTQ community.
I think that we have some good comments. This is exciting.
Okay, next on our agenda, unless there's anyone else who wants to comment.
I have a clarifying question.
Yeah.
You were talking about resources. Are you saying just mental health resources or resources for the community across the
For
board?
the community across the board.
Okay.
And our next topic is an overview of county services and programs. And so first up, we have DHS.
Need one moment while can I share the screen?
Yes, you may.
We may have been a little overzealous in our excitement to share information with you. So when we asked our colleagues to help us understand what was happening across DHS for the LGBTQIA+ community, they came out in full force. So we've got a lot of text on slides and we're not going to read it all. We're happy to share the slides after if you want to get to some of the specifics, but we were hoping to highlight some of the things that are happening in some of the different divisions across DHS. We are one of the largest county departments with 800 staff and several large programs that serve everyone in the community, from public health to behavioral health to children's services and housing. So hopefully we'll give you a little taste and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. I'll be presenting with my colleague Lizzie Candace.
Yep. I started off with my introduction earlier and I totally missed a couple of things. I'm Lizzie Alex, I'm Communication and Engagement Specialist, but I'm also one of the tri-chairs for our ERG Outstanding, and also she, her, they, them pronouns. So I'm going to kick us off with our first slide of some of the many bullet points we got in our stuff. So starting off with our employee resource group, because that is a cross-departmental body. It serves as our meeting place for LGBTQIA employees and their allies to convene, have a safe place to discuss any issues we may be having, and to generate ideas that we can further make the workplace a safe place for LGBTQIA folks. DHS has two places as part of the tri-chair, so it's me and Denise who's on the call, and Emma. She might not be DHS, but still get the shout her out. They do great things like making sure that we have an all-gender bathroom downstairs. Currently in development of staff training, so we can learn as a whole to respect pronouns. And we also host the yearly Pride Proclamation here in the plaza right downstairs. Moving on to some of our director's office stuff. You'll see it again when we talk about Project Peace later, but this one is in regards to my position as a communication specialist, engagement specialist. So I came on in 2023 with the express purpose of trying to reach populations that are historically difficult to reach. So a lot of my work is in regards to meeting people where they are, making the connections, and also finding ways of making our existing communication vehicles a lot more accessible and find and navigate for all folks of all walks of life. And then to give Child and Family Services a little bit of a roundup, they offer services for all youth, recognizing their unique cultural needs that they may have. They definitely try to champion LGBTQIA folks as much as they can. For example, our foster care services is currently actively recruiting foster guardians, and so we're making a concerted effort to be out in the community at Pride events and wherever we may be invited. So in conjunction with my work, we try to get everybody connected from our outreach teams with the public so we can have larger visibility.
The next group we wanted to highlight was our behavioral health division. They have several initiatives where they've woven in some LGBTQIA specific access and resources and information. For example, ARI, the Arlington Addiction Recovery Initiative, is making sure that the website is accessible and has images. And as you can see, their table there covering themselves in rainbows to really hopefully show that they are there, welcoming and accessible to the community. They were at Pride for that tabling event. They're also looking at our same-day access and our different entry points for behavioral health and making sure that our forms are accessible, that we're letting people fill out what gender they identify with, making sure that we're asking the proper information around names. We're also in 2020 to 2022, we applied for some funding and actually received about $50,000 to enhance our services for the community. With that money, we did 3 trainings for staff in that time period on how to be accessible, supportive, and helpful to the community. We conducted some specific outreach, and then we also made sure that we had signage in all of our meeting rooms and throughout the campus that showed that we were trying to be welcoming and informing to the community.
Right, so for public health, we had quite a bit from them, so we had to pare down quite a lot. So there's still more information beyond what is on this slide, so bear with me. Recently, they received $25,000 in funding to enhance and update a lot of their marketing materials related to STI testing. So maybe you've seen it at Pride and other events where our public health is doing outreach. We have this flyer. We try to include all of the information that, of course, makes the program easy to understand and digest in one flyer, but also to include our folks in the LGBTQIA community and make them feel seen and heard. Our public health division also has, like I said, the STI clinics, but in addition to that, we have the Mpox vaccine clinics, and a lot of the outreach around that is in regards to contact tracing. So they find somebody who might be a positive case and reaches out to all the people that might be in contact in order to get them all vaccinated. In addition to that, PhD also partners with a lot of community partners like Nova Salud and Innova Jupiter, who help with outreach and also connecting more of our folks to services in regards to STI clinics. And of course, we always welcome more opportunities to work with the community, finding more partners to get connected, because we're always looking for additional resources that we can, partner up with. And additional info in the links when you get this PowerPoint slide.
As Leslie mentioned, on the director's office, we also had Project Peace. I've been working with Project Peace for the past 6 years, and we've done, I think, quite a bit of work in this space. There's a lot more to do, but we've started digging in. We put together a work group from 2019 to 2022 with lots of folks from the community to really assess kind of the state of domestic and sexual violence services for LGBTQIA folks. We know that folks in the community are at the highest risks of domestic and sexual violence, but we don't see the numbers accessing services that we should in Arlington. We know they're the most at risk community. Why aren't we seeing people calling the hotline, showing up at the hospital for forensic exams, getting the resources? So we convened a group, and out of that group, we updated the resource page that the county has, which is now maintained by Lizzie and her team. We brought in the trainer for Safe Zone, and we now offer Safe Zone training to anyone in the community who wants it. We do 2 a year for county partners and staff, and then anyone who can call us and ask us to come do it, and we'll do it for their audience for free. We also have a demonstrate access assessment that we can actually go and do like a whole 360 assessment on an organization. If any of you would like us to come do it, we're happy to do it. We've done it for 3 nonprofits here in Arlington already, where we really look at how accessible they are to the community, from where they're located, the type of transportation, the type of signage they have, what their forms look like, what their HR policies are, their hiring practices, all of it to really focus and hone in on accessibility for the LGBTQIA community. And we continue to show up at Pride events and help and make sure that all of our resources and materials have images that reflect the community, and that we do trainings and talk about relationships. We're talking about all relationships and really being as inclusive as we can.
That's for our aging and disability folks. As part of the 2023-2028 goals and objectives, they've established a plan to create a task force, or out and about task force, that will advocate and define policies for development in regards to LGBTQ older adults and their programming. Also recently, we become a benefits enrollment center through the National Council on Aging that outlined LGBTQIA older adults that might lack access to resources and support. Our benefits enrollment center will connect you essentially in like a benefits checkup to make sure that you are getting all of the benefits that might benefit you. Our Arlington Commission on Aging is also in full support of the future development for the Clarendon Presbyterian site to house the older LGBTQIA+ adults in our community. And developmental service program managers have identified that one of several fiscal year 2025 training topics to focus on would be sexuality for individuals with developmental disabilities, specifically to ensure that our services are meeting individuals where they are without the assumption about their sexuality. And they are planning to do some trainings for this in the winter.
You talked about across the lifespan earlier. I thought about everything that ADSD is doing, and really looking at the work they're doing with SAGE is really critical to getting their staff prepared to support the community fully. Last but certainly not least, people mentioned housing. We wanted to highlight the Economic Independence Division, the Continuum of Care, which has done some work around making sure that housing is accessible and non-discriminatory to the community. And so as you'll see, they provide annual training on equal access to local nonprofits. They make sure that those nonprofits are adhering to equal access, fair housing laws, making sure that the shelter programs meet their mandates of how they advertise to communities that would maybe be less likely to see their services, making sure that all the information is affirming that they're putting out there. And we've really woven that into the policies of the central access system. So if anyone's accessing shelter, all the shelter systems in Arlington are recorded to the COC's policies. And so weaving in these requirements across the COC ensures that all the housing programs that are connected to the county are in compliance with those laws and are creating safe and affirming spaces. They're actually hosting a Safe Zone training in November for all their COC partners. So we'll be partnering with them with that on that. And I think a lot of their work, though, I would shout out to, again, Quality Arlington, which I think has had a lot of support and push for the work that EID has done. So we really welcome the community voice, and thank you for that.
And then just a couple of points on the continuation and enhancement of services for the LGBTQIA community. We acknowledge that, while we do some work, there's always more work to do to be able to bridge the gap between getting our folks in the LGBTQIA community connected and feeling safe, secure, and welcome to this community. So we continue to expand our existing efforts where they're needed and where they're successful. So we're evaluating our programs by adding diversity metrics into our performance management plans, and you will see it again. Maybe I'll link it here for future reference, but we do have our performance measures linked in the public health division at the very bottom, where we keep our performance measurement plans for all of our programs in DHS. And we're hoping that in doing so, we're reaching the intended communities.
The last thing is we're starting our strategic planning process at DHS. So you will be getting probably links to surveys or requests to join focus groups. Please join them. Please do the survey. Let us know what the needs are in the community because we're really hoping to weave efforts into our plan long term. Thank you.
Thank you. I was like, poof.
Yeah. Less words, more fun. No, I'm kidding.
It was a lot.
Is this dueling PowerPoints?
Yeah.
I like that.
There we go.
We can mess with each other's PowerPoints.
While you're doing that, I just wanted to say one thing, one goal I have, touched both of you touched it. You're always struggling to find highly qualified staff members. So to the extent that you all hear the message and you have contacts and we have vacancies, please, we're always looking for great quality candidates. We know that you'll have the ability to push that message out, right, Candace?
Yes.
We're desperate for doing that, so thanks.
All right, well, here representing the Department of Parks and Recreation, again, I'm Jennifer Weber. I'm the Walter Reed 55 Plus Center Director.
Kimberly Baldini, Youth Services. Okay, so we wanted to kick off with our inclusion statement. Everyone, everywhere, every day, access for all. And our longer, I just wanted to read this because I thought it was really important. Something I don't think a lot of people know is that we had an LGBTQ plus work group in 2017 that really started kicking off a lot of work for this. And their statement of commitment is Arlington County Department of Parks and Recreation is committed to creating and promoting inclusion across all public spaces, places, facilities, and programs managed by the department. DPR pledges that we will remain an inclusive, welcoming community where everyone is valued and respected everywhere, every day. Through these guidelines, we aim to ensure that everyone has equitable access to quality parks, recreation, regardless of gender status, sexual orientation, race, color, ethnicity, age, religion, physical or cognitive disability, or ability, sorry about that, citizenship or legal residency status, and any other characteristics subject to marginalization. Our vision, which asserts that each of us is important, means our community is where diversity is not simply tolerated, but appreciated and respected. So that's the tenant.
All right, so we're going to go over some DPR wide initiatives, partnerships and trainings that we're working towards, youth services, and then 55 plus programs.
Why did that sneak in there?
Okay, so some of our initiatives which are ongoing, we did several years ago, and it continues because, wow, we have a lot of registration forms in DPR, is really scrubbing and seeing when gender is actually required and when it's not. And if there's several options or just a blank space that you can choose, or you can just leave it blank or leave it off altogether. So we've really been working through that as well. The DPR registration system, RecTrack, if you have children in Arlington, you battled it, thanks. Right now, when you register, it is male or female, and we are working with the system providers to be able to add more options to make that more inclusive. So we've been working on that. With the employee resource group, the ARGs, several years ago in 2017, really started that push towards all gendered restrooms. Lover Run has them. Also, I think Longbridge is like a great example if you've ever been there, and all of the changing rooms, and really using that as kind of like our standard is moving forward. And DPR Pride event. So DPR celebrates the month of June, and really we make a concerted effort across all of divisions to be able to celebrate it through different age groups. And if you notice, all of our community centers do fly the flag as well during June.
partnerships and training. So for the 55 plus office, we have reached out to both Sage, then he, she, Z, and we to start conversations. How will we bring trainings for staff? How can we provide those? Because we think it's really important to make sure our staff is trained and we are creating inclusive spaces. And how do we provide a more welcoming, inclusive environment? So we are currently working on that. We have partnered with Equality Nova in the past, and we continue to do so. I'll pass
Yep.
on to the last two.
I am currently in the midst of finalizing a project with Smile to bring training to all of our youth staff. Where we've asked for like a workshop series, like a 101, 102. Training is really important. We have amazing staff who want to help all of the kids, and I just don't think sometimes they know how to. So we want to be able to give them the resources and tools to be able to do that. And also Safe Space Nova, we have met with them, still interested in working on them with bringing any type of programming that they would like to. And our unit manager also participated in one of their trainings.
And I think it's important. We're always searching for new partnerships, new trainings. So really excited to be in this room to establish both the partnerships and relationships to be able to, strengthen our community.
Yeah, and programs. So in programs, so I'm like, yay, my new best friend.
Speaking of programs.
Yay! So just like a touch of programs. Sorry, Diane, we do some story times. We have during June we did Facebook story times. We featured the book I Am, and one of our staff read it. Our drop-in Arlington Mill Community Center, they had several activities where LGBTQ was a focus. We do, during the month of June, also lots of lending kit, which is like our focused activities. We're representing artists and different types of work. Our initiative is our code of conduct in addressing bullying behaviors. I did bring that up. I just wanted to run through it. It will be here. I have so many windows open. I might want to come. Okay. I can put it out later to be able to share it, but it has strong language that bullying behavior towards anybody is not tolerated and will be managed in youth programs across, not just summer, but really like across the year. And offering like year-round activities. We're getting really good at doing activities and programming in the month of June, but there's so much more that we can do and really kind of thread it through the year. We actually do a lot of programming in our early childhood. There's books and stories and games and things that we can play that just teach. That's where you got to get the kids like when they're really young, and their parents sometimes too. So that's one of the things that we work on. And also, I said it before, but staff training is like really important to us moving forward on that as well.
And for 55 plus programs, so we have done a virtual Stonewall National Monument program virtually with the park rangers with the National Park Service. So that's been a really great program, and we did that. We've done that for 2 years now, and we're actually hoping we have a very robust 55 plus travel program. So we're actually currently planning a trip to the Stonewall National Monument in New York City. We have done drag queen bingo. I believe this is the 3rd year we've done it, and it has been it's been a great success. And screening of the documentary Everybody initiatives. We are looking to develop benchmarking for LGBTQIA+ programming across the 55+ recreation space. So looking at other Seattle Parks and Rec, Rochester, New York, those are some of the programs that we have on our radar. Seattle Parks and Rec does Rainbow Recreation. Rochester does Rainbow Seniors. So again, looking towards our peers to see how we can strengthen and do better. And then, of course, to offer year-round Pride events. We have been doing that, but we want to do more. So yeah, thank you so much.
And Diane, did you want to share about the library?
Sure. No PowerPoint, sorry. Lots of buzz. So I'll pick up with the programming point that was the last one. We do about 3,500 programs a year in the library, and a good portion of them are for the LGBTQ plus community. Just Saturday night, we had a queer trivia. October is Queer History Month, and we were we hosted the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, the DC chapter, so they were on hand to be part of the event. And then last week we screened a documentary called Cured, which
great.
is yes. Oh yes, you were there.
I was.
I kept looking at you going, God, I know you. Yes, it was great. So for those of you who don't know, the American Medical Association, or I guess Psychiatry Association, finally in 1973 moved homosexuality from its definition of mental illness. This was a many years, very fraught battle, very brave people involved in making that change. And this was a documentary about that. There were a number of interviews from people who were active at the time who are now deceased, which is another important point about getting people's stories before they've passed on. So it was a nice piece of history. The event was, the filmmakers were present, and Jake Bissett did a moderated conversation. So they not only had the conversation in the auditorium at Central Library, but then convened to bar across the street to continue the conversation. So we do a number of those kinds of things. We do Pride events each year. All Boys Aren't Blue. George M. Johnson, we featured him in an interview in June. We fly the Pride flags at all of our locations. I'm a member of the community. I have a number of staff who are part of the community. So I feel that we can always do more. We're always doing a lot. And I think increasingly our emphasis is on welcoming everybody. Wherever you are in life, whomever you love, whoever you choose to be with, you are welcome at the library. All kinds of definitions of family, and we will be continuing to push on this. Love is love is love. Obviously not an original line with me, but I think that is the language that I think makes it possible for everybody to be part of the library community, and that's what we're interested in. I will make a little plug for banned books. We became a sanctuary library a year ago, which means that the decision for what is in the collection rests with the library and the library staff or the professionals. We have occasionally had pushback on various titles over the years, but generally this community is very accepting. And regardless, I felt that with the number of challenges that libraries and librarians are facing, which has been on the increase for the last couple of years, it was a good time to take a stand for books and reading and freedom of expression. So that's something that was very significant. We had the support of the Arlington County Board in passing that. Always willing to partner with anybody, certainly a lot of people in this room. We are open and interested in doing what we can to reach as many people in the community as we can. We know we can't reach everybody. We know there are people who are not aware of us or feel uncomfortable being out in the community or recognizing that the library is a safe place for everyone. So anything that you have in the way of ideas of how we can be even more accepting and deliberatively so, please don't hesitate to let me know. We've already talked with the staff about World Pride. We're getting our planning underway and marching, etc. So happy to participate with that with this group as well. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Next time, PowerPoint.
Bring one about something.
I could have passed out bookmarks. I clearly wasn't prepared.
Fine. You did fine. And Matt, you aren't on our agenda, but would you like to talk about the police department sounds?
We have a LGBTQ plus team. We're not allowed to be called anything other than the team because the other sections got mad at that. But we provide in-house training to officers. Our hopes are getting everybody trained up with a program that's done in California at their police officer academy that's certified by the state out there that can be taken to here to Virginia and tweaked for our purposes so that we can teach it at our academy for state credit. So it can be ongoing credit for all officers where we partner with a regional academy. So we don't have our own police academy. And for us to be able to go there and teach it to all the police agencies that attend that academy. And it's, I think, over a dozen agencies that we would be able to reach for all new officers coming in, mandatory to take that class. We also provide any services for the community too. We've done many times before where we've created some sort of a presentation for them. We've done dating, how to be safe online dating, how to be safe financial, LGBT, elder abuse, things like that. So if anybody reaches out to the department, we'll create a program for them to be able to teach to them. We partner with DC, Alexandria, Fairfax, who also have LGBT liaisons, so that we meet occasionally so that we can be averse to or informed with everything that's happening, not just in Arlington, but also in DC and in Fairfax and Alexandria, our neighboring jurisdictions. We do Pride with the Police every year in June that Freddie's kind enough to host for us. We'd like to do more, but unfortunately that's not supported just yet in the police department, but we're hoping that that can change over the next couple of years with the newer officers that we brought on board. So we're working, but we're not where we want to be just yet.
Okay, thank you everyone who presented and shared information. Now I think we'll go to our next part of the agenda, meeting wrap up and next steps. And Sam, I think everything else.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. I'm really excited about where we're going to go with this. I think now that we've got kind of a taste of what everyone's excited about, who's here, what we're bringing to the table, I think the next step is we start thinking about what we want to talk about for the next one. Obviously, we don't have to make a hard decision right now, but I think we've got each other's emails, so I think we'll email each other and we'll start thinking about what are the first things we want to get on the agenda and start working on. So, you know, like we're definitely going to want to start having World Pride conversations sooner rather than later. Probably start those conversations in email and start connecting folks. And think about which issues should be on the agenda that we think to who do we need to talk to, what do we need to learn, what do we need to start gathering and planning. So I think this is a very cool beginning of the conversation. I look forward to chatting with everybody and working with everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Do we have a motion to formally adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.